Listen, y'all, if y'all don't know, this is TFG Tonight, and I'm your host, Mr. Haynes, and this is the best morning show that you can watch at night. Y'all listen, that's Devin, that's Lee, and that's Kenny.
I'm trying to be nice.
Black said we got two Americans.
Say to my brother Black, man, I think you could be a preacher. I ain't never heard somebody that use a curse word and then read a scripture right after.
So let me state for the record, I am a misogynist. You know,
Pull out your card, Doc. He's
and I'm a chauvinist as well. Anybody who knows me knows that.
That's right.
Now I can go back to minding my own business. Either that boy is Benjamin Button or somebody lying.
And listen, and that boy may be mentally 12, but he's 34.
You bad boy, you don't do it again.
I'll let Black articulate a little bit better than that.
Nope.
Okay.
Never mind.
It's good for the soul. It's like medicine, right?
Yeah, for real.
That's all I gotta say. I wish I had one of them applause buttons to, like it.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday indeed. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. What up, everybody? Y'all doing all right? I'm good. Good to see y'all so much. Listen, it's been 7 days since I've seen y'all, and I'm excited that y'all are going to join us today. And y'all, we got a few things to talk about. The community is growing, and the people are showing out, and we just got things that the family has to bring up. And again, we may do a little cleaning house today, and you may hear some things, and we're not going to get away from the LBG. They just stay with us. They're never going to go away. And I'm not asking them to either, right? But it's just interesting to see them and their antics. And so I'm ready to talk, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to some and present to others the morning show that you can watch at night, The Family. Thank you, sir, madam, and last but not least, my brother. Good to see y'all so much. And ladies and gentlemen, Brittany is backstage again for the power behind the hour. Thank you so much, man, for joining us. Family, y'all doing all right today?
What's good? What's good?
Good for a Monday.
Great.
Good for a Monday. You right. Man, I'm telling you. Listen, where we at, man? When I tell y'all, I got dressed at 7 and I put on a lot of clothes and I came home for lunch and I had to put on some shorts. I said,
That's
man, what are we doing?
Yep.
Man, I got more clothes that I gotta wash now because I'm wearing 2 outfits a day.
Right.
Man. And listen, I mean, I don't think I got enough drawers to last me, man. Anyway, okay.
Okay.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. We ready, man. Let's get started. Where we going? All right, listen, y'all. There was something that happened this weekend, the Grammys. What was it, like the 57th? 60th? Yeah. I don't remember, but it's been a few of them. So, but yeah, listen, there was once upon a time, this used to be something really spectacular. Now I feel like I'm going through the zoo and I'm just going to different areas and looking at different animals in cages. And I mean, you had people with feathers. You had people well, here we have our resident Grammy connoisseur.
Correspondent.
Correspondent. Thank you. Yeah, our correspondent this evening. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to travel through the timeline of Lee Black and his time with the Grammys. And we have a few questions. We'll try to keep it as clean as possible. So, because I think like Black the only one that really watched it. So I think us other three, we just gonna find out from him what really went down. So I have a few things that Black I would like to ask the family, and then we'll get your thoughts about what you really were talking about. All right, so Devin and Kenny, about 21 hours ago, Lee Black says he doesn't know if he want to be Rick James, Stevie Wonder, or Prince. Just confused. I have no idea who Lee talking about. I was like, oh, was they on the was Stevie or something? I don't. Who is he talking about?
Let's see. Was it Miguel? I don't know.
Miguel? Okay. I don't know. Kenny, you know who Black talking about? Kenny? You you know who Black talking about, Kenny?
Get it a throat.
Kendrick.
Kendrick.
All right. See, Brittany, that's how she be doing us.
Black.
Know. Okay, well then Black right. He didn't want to talk about it. I get it. Black, who in the world is confused? Well, Kenny, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. My internet is bugging. I guess
that's it, don't man.
like
I hear you.
Grammy recap. So, yeah, I'm here.
So, who you think is confused with Rick James, Stevie Wonder, and Prince? Who you think that he's talking about? You know? Okay, well, go on and fix it. But Black, tell me who in the world is confused?
This was a new artist to me, a guy named Steve Lacy. And apparently he's extremely popular. Look, I never heard of him, but obviously he got a main spotlight performance on the Grammys. So he obviously is very popular. They scream for him. But if you saw this young man, he had on a leather outfit, played guitar. He had some braids. He had some boots. He gyrated around kind of oddly. And he just and then he had on high heel shoes like Prince. So he had this whole mixed podge of identities that was going on there, that he gave you a little bit of Rick James, with the braids from the funk era, the Prince with the shoes, and Stevie Wonder as well. And then it was a mess, but he's apparently popular. And my comment was, I said I could live my whole life and never see or hear him again and be just fine.
You know who that is, Devin? I ain't never heard this cat.
I don't even know who that is. All I know is I heard Beyonce did her thing as far as awards, and her and some.
Did she? I know she's the most decorated now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I know. But there's something that they said that she has yet to get the album of the year.
Never won album of the year.
That's interesting. I didn't know that, but I can see why she only caters to us.
So, I disagree with that.
I think my problem is there's no artist that I just really want to see like enough to watch a whole Grammy show for them to pop up. And maybe it's my age, I don't know. But back in the day, I would sit and watch a whole Grammy show because I had my 2 handfuls of people that I just wanted to see and wanted to present. And there ain't.
Well, we wanted to see artistry, not buffoonery. I think we're seeing buffoonery now.
I feel like they're catering to a generation that's not me.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. So, okay, Black, you say you disagree. So this is what I would say when I talk about somebody transcend or catering to multiple, like Michael Jackson, like pop, rock and roll, R&B, like everybody loved Mike. And I'm not saying everybody don't love Beyonce, but I don't think Beyonce music transcends like Mike's.
So while I agree with the last part, to me, her music is not timeless. But you said you think because she make music for us. I think therein lies the problem. Her demographic is the Beehive, which is predominantly women and gay individuals, the LGBTQ community. So they're the strong alliance that's going to buy her music no matter what.
Right.
And so I was a fan of Beyonce. It's kind of like Big Luther, Little Luther. I was a fan of Beyonce pre the womanization, the whole woman's movement thing when she was in Destiny's Child, and then she first went single because she made, to me, good R&B pop music. But she's on all her albums now. They have an agenda from the moment the song is released. This particular album, Renaissance, the very first song was Not Gonna Break My Soul. It became the anthem of women and the LGBT community. And so it doesn't speak to us three sitting here. It doesn't speak to us.
I agree with that. I got a song on there that I could think of that a guy could really resonate with. And I've listened to the whole thing multiple times.
I did. I tried.
A lot of it you can tell is made to be played in a gay club. Some of it where I'm like, I I feel like I'm supposed to be voguing at this point. And then there's other ones that are more like women's empowerment. And then other ones you got your little freaky deaky women stuff, plastic on the sofa show. You know what I'm saying? But it's all. Honestly, it's all just catering to like feminism and LGBT.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. If they ask me to name a recent song, I can only think of "Say My Name." That's the only song.
And that's Destiny's Child era.
Right.
So
And
those
again,
are the songs that are the timeless.
yeah. All right, and I like the songs that she was doing when her and Jay-Z were just dating. I remember those songs, but beyond that, I'm just like,
yeah, I don't fan out anymore. I can't think of anybody I fanned out over. Michael Jackson was loved by everybody, and I wouldn't move if I watched the Grammys then because there wasn't no rewinding because I wasn't gonna miss that.
Yes,
correct. Right. So I know we're waiting on Kenny. You want me to give you a recap?
What? Yeah. So I
want to read some more.
I want to ask you one more because this is interesting. Again, I'm asking you the stuff that I was like, I really want to know what he's thinking here. So you said Song of the Year, Bunny Right? Is that Bunny Rabbit? Bonnie?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Okay.
No. You're right. The Song of the Year was run by Bunny Raitt.
Bunny Raitt,
the country singer.
Oh, okay. So you said now if this don't prove the Grammys are BS, don't know what will. Okay, so now I know she's a country singer and she won. Wow.
Bunny Raitt, and she won over Lizzo, Beyonce, Bad Bunny, Harry Styles.
Really?
I forget somebody else. When you heard her name, she didn't belong in the category in the first place, but the fact that the Grammys gave it to her, it speaks to the fact that what the Grammys is about is spreading the awards around to appease to demographics to tune in. It's not about the best artist. And what I'm about to say to prove that is the whole Beyonce saga. Sorry, Beehive fans. What they did was a travesty. They made sure they gave Beyonce just the amount of awards she needed to make her the most decorated artist in the history of the Grammys, but it was small BS awards, Urbana, Mix, and who the hell listens to that? But they did it so otherwise she would not have shown up. Beyonce is such a huge artist that she's not going to show up if she's not going to win anything. They made a big thing about her being there. But by awarding her those smaller awards, she didn't win any major award. Not Song of the Year, not Record of the Year, not Artist of the Year. She won the smaller ones. So it's a win-win. On the one hand, you gave her the awards to make her the most decorated artist. But as I said in the beginning, she has never won Album of the Year. Ever.
Okay, right. So I hear a lot of politicking in here, and I hear a lot of meandering around. So so give me your recap.
The recap was the winner of the night was the LGBTQ plus community. And I mean that with all respect. From the very outset, from the fashion, the gender fluidity that you saw on full display. The very first opening performance was by somebody named Bad Bunny, who's immensely popular. And that was my first time actually watching them. It was boring, but again, it spoke to the LGBT community. And Harry Styles, who is stealing his fashion from the black guy that was in Pose. You know how black people can make something famous, then white people can appropriate it, and then they get the credit for it. So they were the big winners. Beyonce, again, shout out to her for accomplishment. The best part of the show was the tribute to rap, the 50th anniversary of rap. It was phenomenal. If you don't watch anything else, go to YouTube and watch it. Whoever did that, they need to win an award for the Grammys for the direction of that one set. Those 12 and a half minutes was better than anything that Rihanna's going to do in halftime. Stamp it, book it, I said it. It is that good. It is that good. And what it did is it shows you the history of rap, and it tried to marry rap from its beginnings. And what was interesting is the only artist that they brought out from this current generation, which I thought was very funny, was
Uzi.
One little Uzi. I can't think his name right now. They had the guy with the wild hair, and they let him say one line. He didn't say anything, and I can't think of the young man. But what it showed in that
Hey,
performance
little
was
baby.
Lil Baby
Lil
was the
Baby.
only artist that they gave.
Look at Devin, girl.
a
You
little
go,
bit of
girl.
time. And it showed that the old school rappers today in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, it's better than anything that these young rappers have going on right now. The host was Trevor Noah. He was really, really safe. Lizzo was a little proud of her because she didn't dress inappropriate. And she did a really good, solid performance, I gotta say. But it was just a forgettable show overall, and the close was spectacular. It was an outside performance by DJ Khaled. Visually, it was stunning. Jay-Z, I'm not usually a fan of his. He did his thing. What was on display was the old school rappers, and their gift for emceeing is better than anything that's out there today. So those were the things that I invite you to watch. The 50th anniversary rap tribute and the close of the show. You can skip all the rest of it.
Okay, so wait. Okay, since Kenny back, I just want to ask this one more question because this was like controversial all around, and I want to know what your take is, and then everybody else's. This Sam Smith with the devil stuff
I said about that. It was a holy mess.
Yes,
it was an unholy mess.
Okay, what was the problem? All I saw is that one person was a tranny, and they all had on red. But other than that, apparently the gospel industry is in uproar. What did he do?
Because number one, it was introduced by Madonna, who looked like a mummified version of some
Madonna
witch or
was
something.
up there?
Oh my God, looked unrecognizable, puffed up face. She looked a hot freaking mess, and they brought her out for a reason. She is most notable. One of her notable performances in the Grammys is remember when she mimicked the Catholic Church and in her video.
Right.
So she introduced him as a unholy connection, and so the garb, the redness, what he did. A lot of people may not get it. The young gay black guy from Atlanta, what's his name?
Yeah, the ride the horsey. I mean,
that guy, Sam Smith, once again appropriated, took what he already set in motion, took it to the Grammys, and is getting credit for a performance where he was introduced by Madonna. But the performance itself, it was demonic in nature. It was like vampirism and demonic. It was a one holy mess to see a sloppy fag, excuse me, folks, for being politically incorrect, but a sloppy British fag grabbing whatever he thought was down there. I don't know if he had a tutor or a Buddha down there, but it was an unholy mess.
So so the boy that did the blood on the shoe, I thought that was real
Lil Nas
bad.
X. Little Nas
X. Yeah.
And so where he created a lane for this, once again, Sam Smith came along and stole from that and took it and used it for, so you don't get points for originality, folks. He did it. And he even performed it on an award show as well. But again, it's typical. The whole award show was typical of appropriation, and you just saw it everywhere you looked.
Okay, well, I mean, that's why I'm not watching it, because I'm not interested in all that. You know what I'm saying? So it just, I don't know.
Brittany said, "Lay off Riri."
Well,
the only thing that I found interesting, I didn't watch it. I haven't watched the Grammys in years. I don't watch the Oscars. I don't watch none of that. But the one thing that I noticed today on social media, people was going at Chris Brown because they felt he disrespected Robert Glasper. Because Robert Glasper, I think, won the best R&B album, and a lot of people did like, who the F is Robert Glasper? Chris Brown when So anyway, that's the one thing that I saw on social media concerning the Grammys.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a musicianship. Robert Glasper is musicianship. Right. These other clowns, y'all just performing for that dollar. Whatever. You know.
Once again, it's a politically correct show. Remember last year, this was the first year it was telecast live because of the pandemic. So they hired a safe host in Trevor Noah. They gave out safe awards. That's why they was not going to invite Chris Brown. The rap special, Will Smith was supposed to be there, but conveniently, he wasn't put in a performance. And they gave just enough blackness to keep people keep them off their backs. But trust and believe, the Grammys are awards for white artists. It's not for black artists.
I've been saying that. That's why I don't watch. But anyway.
I guess. All right. Well, we spent quite a bit on that, but it is what it is. That's y'all like it, we love it. Psych, I'm lying. All right, child prodigy. Listen, this is not uncommon, but I have a thought process that I want to ask you guys about. But let's introduce this young man. Pennsylvania boy, 9 years old, became the youngest ever school graduate. He loves science, computer programming. His name is David Balugan. I may be saying his last name wrong. But he loved science. He was recently received his diploma from Reach Cyber Charter School, based in his state capital of Harrisburg, after taking classes remotely from his family home in the Philadelphia suburb of, I don't even know, Ben Salem. That's a good education for you right there, right? The local television station, the achievements makes David one of the youngest known children to ever graduate high school. This is nothing new, right? Kids do things like this all the time. This is my thing. He's 9. Great. He's graduated from high school. But the normal order of life is you graduate from high school, you go to college, and then you get a job. This kid don't have to wait about 10 years before he can get a decent job in a career. Unless he's gonna start his own company.
No, he ain't gonna have to wait. He ain't gonna have to wait that long, brother.
Okay, well, where we at with that? Come on,
I mean, because we're in a social media world. We where you can make your profession on the internet.
Yeah, but he's 9
years old. Yeah, but by the time, he can work the internet. There's no age limit to make money on social media. There's a bunch of and he's a smart kid. So you don't think there's going to be some company that's going to be like, you know what, we want to put you, we're going to have you do some stuff, but we're going to keep you online or do something like that. So by the time he's 15, he's going to be calling his own shots.
Okay, you're right. So here's Devin. This is why I want to get this to you. The only problem I have with this, it's not about his. If he's an overachiever or whatever, his parents is or whatever. This is my thing. Life still has to teach you. Like, he got to be around adults, and he's still gonna be a kid. So it's fine, you can be book smart, but you don't know enough in life to do life at that age. How do you function with adults at 9 years old, or however he's gonna be?
I mean, you don't really have to function. Like he'll grow up just like everybody else. But when I think about him, I think about all these child actors and actresses that came
and they on drugs
at the age of 2, 3, 4. Some of them are. I mean, you got your Rudies and your people like that who are doing well. Okay. Yeah, you have some who were steered in the wrong direction, but I think that was due to just not ever having to be held accountable for nothing. So they just kind of do whatever they want, or they might be a little slow, because I think Britney Spears missing at least one chromosome. But all the other ones, a lot of them are like pretty normal. So I kind of compare him to that. And so he'll have his parents kind of guiding him until he gets a certain age. I'd rather him be doing that than be that kid playing peewee football or something like that, risking, his health and all that, just to be college and all. He can start making money early. I think they should create him some type of social media channel until he can create his own. He'll be something big one day, I'm telling you, especially in that IT world, that tech world.
Right, and he's wanting to be an engineer, and I get that. But Black, I mean, help me. I hear Kenny and Devin. I know I'm not missing something. Like, these kids, they're developed with this innate ability to educate themselves, but to live life, to have life skills, to be sociable. I mean, listen, Silicon Valley is full of little geniuses, and like a lot of them going to jail now because even the crypto world's got all these little young kids. They just don't. I'm okay. I mean, am I being, am I pulling out my misogynistic card, or not misogynistic? whatever one of them things you are. You one of them. one of my identities.
I'm a misogynist and a chauvinist. But,
chauvinist, yeah, okay, yeah. So am I being too rigid? I don't know.
I don't think so, and so I'm going to respectfully disagree with my brother and sister here. Quiet as kept, I was considered a prodigy. As crazy as I am, I grew up in a very unique situation where, if you've seen an episode of Good Times where Michael was bused, I was bused to school. I went to school 7 days a week, tested off the charts. As a 12-year-old, I had a radio talk show. I did speaking engagements. I have my signed speech with Muhammad Ali and the Mayor Koch, and I had a TV show. I won the National Spelling Bee. I was a national storytelling champion. I had scholarships to Harvard University.
Wow.
Quiet as kept. This is all true. No BS. Don't make it up. The best thing my mother did for me is she wouldn't let them move me ahead that quick. So I'm not convinced, first of all, the young man is any genius. Before you even mentioned the whole story, I went to Google, and then I stopped even Googling once you told me he was homeschooled. I work in education. What education has become in America is a travesty.
Yes, sir.
So what's considered passing and what's considered a genius now, they did a recent study of American children and children around the world. When they asked children in America what they aspired to be, the number one thing was a social media influencer.
That's right.
In China, it was a scientist. That's how big the chasm is for our expectations. And so if you're telling me this young man was homeschooled and had the advantages of sitting at home and mama them grade them and this and that, I'm first of all not convinced he's anything special. That's no disrespect.
I think he went to a charter school though, Black. He wasn't homeschooled. He went to a charter school.
I taught in
still at home,
I actually taught in a charter school.
Oh, okay.
As well.
Okay.
I personally, this is my personal opinion. I'm not convinced he's all. He might be bright, but to say he's some prodigy, no. I believe from that system he's passed along. But worse than that, we can debate that all day long. Whether he let's say he is Einstein. The damage, in my opinion, that's done at this stage where what you miss out on is vital social skills. Ironically, I just had this conversation just yesterday. I have a nephew. I keep it real. I have a nephew. His son is 24 years old. And this weekend, there was a whole hoop to do over. He's walking around with size 14 shoes and he by himself. He has the social skills of a 12-year-old. And that's because his father, upon becoming a Jehovah's Witness, was built up with so much zeal. He shielded his son from the world, and he's highly educated when it comes to the Bible, and he has the social skills of a teenager. And it's a very sad thing to see a young man now that's thrust into this world and have no way to function. And so, yes, he can make money from home and things like that, but in my opinion, it's doing him a great disservice because there is value in learning how to socialize, learning how to hear no, learning the art of rejection, learning to deal with people, learning to deal with other adults outside of your immediate family. And so to me, I'm not impressed.
No, and I agree with the social. I agree with the social skills part. Totally, I'm 110% with you on that, Black. The only part that I was answering from Brother Brent was, could this young man make money? Yeah, he could make money and probably make a whole lot more money than me. But you're right, he would be lacking in social skills, which I think that would do him a disservice in the long run.
And again, I was just coming from a multiple facet of areas, only because we only focus in on how well he's educated. That's all I'm saying. But there's more to life than just being educated.
Right, exactly.
Right? Because listen, that boy that just did FTX was very educated in his field, but he was an idiot because they was all doing Hugh Hefner in them apartments. So you know what I'm saying? So you got man.
Little known secret. Excuse me, Albert Einstein, who's widely considered one of the smartest people who ever lived, was a social inept idiot. Yeah. He wore the same clothes every single day because when it came to making minor decisions about what to wear, he was baffled. Now you throw the theory of Pythagorean's theorem in front of him.
Yeah, he's good to go. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And again, these behaviors, again, like you pointed out about the kids now, they're so overly saturated with socialism, and they're just deprived of education. And I'm just showing the total opposite of that, where he is so oversaturated with education, but then he's gonna be looking at comic books to enjoy himself in the restroom. Okay.
All right. Here we go. Here we go.
You don't know how right you are. This is my nephew right now. You have no idea how right you are. We debated amongst the males in the family about taking him to get him laid. And the consensus we came to was,
all right, little Boosie.
He doesn't have, we were going to take him and get, because some of us thought that, well, maybe if he get a little snatch, it might grow him up. But the consensus thought was, snatch and run that boy crazy.
That's right.
There's always somebody who fall in love with a hoe and want to turn her into a housewife.
Leave that boy. Let him look at those virtual girls, because that is not going to happen. And I know I'm right, because I know what I'm talking about. That's why I wanted to talk about this. So yeah, that's all right. Well then, little David, hopefully he can conquer his little Goliath, and hopefully he'll make us something that'll help us be better in this world. So I don't know, but. All right, thank you, sir, so much for that. Appreciate it, brother Kenny. Man, it is a lot going on in the sports world.
It's a lot.
And where you gonna start?
Well, we're going from a child prodigy to an adult idiot, but we'll get to that in a minute. I got to talk about the big story of the weekend. Kyrie Irving traded from the Nets to the Mavericks for some draft picks, and Markieff Morris is going with him from the Nets to the Mavericks. That's been a hot topic, man.
The twin? Morris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna be a Maverick as well.
That's good.
We got that. We got LeBron James on the verge of breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record, and he's gonna probably do that tomorrow night. So that's gonna be the hot commodity too. So those are two things we talked about, but we're talking about free agent wide receiver Antonio Brown. Remember the last time we saw Antonio Brown, he took his clothes off, threw his jersey in the stands when they played the Jets. But he had an IG Live this past Friday night that he had something interesting to say. Brittany, roll that sound for me, please, ma'am.
I wanted to tell you guys that I think James Harrison gave me CTE. James Harrison had a legal helmet for over 20 years in the NFL, and he hit me one time, and ever since he hit me, I've been super aggressive. So blame James Harrison for my CTE.
So if you don't know who James Harrison is, that was his teammate when he was with the Steelers, and according to Antonio Brown, that's how he got CTE. Now CTE, we all done heard it. It stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and most researchers have said that most football players, it happens from getting striked in the head numerous times. And the only other thing with CTE, the only way you can diagnose is when a player dies. So you really don't know if a player has CTE while he's alive. He may show symptoms. What you think about this new story from Antonio Brown saying his teammate gave him CTE? Brother Black, let's start with you. What's your thoughts on it?
It's real sad to me, what he really suffers for is a damn foolinitis. So, and he need a good old fashioned ass beating, to be honest with you. But what makes it sad to me is a person only get one name. You only get one name. I know what it feels like to have somebody besmirch my name. And we live in a society now where the burden of proof is on you now to prove that you didn't do it, because you're guilty before you're innocent. So while most of us, any free-thinking, normal person might sit here and say he's a damn fool, the sad truth is there's a number of people out there that, that might be right. Maybe he really did that. And so what you've done is you've cast doubt on this man who ain't bothering nobody. He's been retired. And now you're calling his credentials and credibility into question because you can. We have the license of the social media to jump on and with free will cast doubt on this man's name. So James Harrison is screwed if you do or if you don't. If you don't say anything about this, then there's people that, well, maybe it's true. If you do say something, you're giving this damn fool just the attention he's craving. Now, what I hope is I have an idea who James Harrison is.
Oh,
in case you don't know football.
That's why he said it. That's why he said it on the internet.
I pray that James Harrison runs into him.
Well, and to speak on James Harrison, I'm gonna toss this one to Devin. James Harrison did respond to the IG live from Antonio Brown, but he only responded with a GIF, and it was a GIF of, if you ever seen this one with Idris Elba when he was eating those hot wings or whatever, and he started coughing. that was James Harrison's response to disclaim that he gave Brown CTE. Devin, what's your thoughts on James Harrison's response?
I think that everybody know that Antonio Brown a damn fool, and I would believe and listen to Kanye West before I listen to that idiot. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like he said that thing about the CTE stuff is because he's trying to excuse away bad behavior, and that's gonna be what he uses next time he's charged with a crime. He's gonna go in a courtroom and say he got CTE, and I think they should just take him out and cut his brain open and see if he really does. If he tries to use that, because I just don't see anything good coming out of him unless he makes a decision to control his life, because I just think he's at a point in his life where he almost feels like he's untouchable. And even if you have CTE or whatever you got going on, you should have enough common sense not to be dumb and to make stupid decisions. If he really thinks there's something mentally wrong with him, why don't you check his dumb ass into a facility and let him work on him, give him a lobotomy or something? I just think he don't want to mind his business and take his phone and take him off social media, because he's doing the most. He's sorry for his kids.
Yeah, I agree, Devin. Brother Brenton, where's his people, man? This brother needs help. Where's his people?
I think the closest thing that Antonio has as people is probably Hannibal Lecter. That's who needs to work on his brain.
Wow.
Hannibal Lecter need to work on his brain, brother. Y'all remember the movie when the dude was just talking and Hannibal was just surgically going and picking out pieces of his brain, and it's just like, man, that's the only person that's gonna get Antonio right. Shoot, man. I'll say this: I won't deny that James Harden probably gave him a lick that he probably will never forget. That's true. But what's the point? It's almost like if a tree falls in the forest and you're not there, who cares? Who cares, man? I mean, we used to praise these boys for busting y'all upside your head. So I don't understand what is it now? Like, it almost seems like every time Antonio keep trying to get his life together, he keep missing the bus because it done drove out the stop. It's like the bus. You trying to run to the bus stop, but the bus already left.
Because somebody got to hold his hand and walk him to the bus. Because you know how it is.
I'm just saying. It's just like every time he feel like he need to come out and say something, it's like we done moved on from that, bro. Like it's they playing flag football at the Pro Bowl now, so nobody cares no more. So it's just like you Johnny come late, boss. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think at this point, man, Antonio Brown, somebody need to put him in a straitjacket and just take him on down to the facility, in my opinion. So anyway, but before we get out of here, this time next Monday, the Super Bowl would be over. But so before we get out of here, before I finish this segment, I want to get you all Super Bowl picks. Eagles, Chiefs. Who you got, Brenton? Eagles, Chiefs. Who you got?
Oh man, Mahomes getting his second ring.
Okay, you going Chiefs? Devin, who you got? Eagles, Chiefs.
Eagles.
You got Eagles. Okay, brother.
Philly.
Brother Black, you got the Eagles. Okay, all right. Well, I'm not giving mine out to Saturday morning at 11 a.m. So you gotta watch TFG Sports Show Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm not giving mine, sir. So come watch me on Saturday morning. I'll tell you about it. All right, Britt, this is all you, brother. Thank you.
Well played, sir. Well played, man.
I love it.
You'd almost think he was in broadcasting.
I love it.
All right, we moving right along. Ungrateful generation. Oh, I can't wait to hear Devin.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to hear.
Can I get some popcorn real quick?
By all means, brother, go right ahead. Listen, y'all. And the only reason I say it's a generation because I've seen this young lady in my own house. So you know, and again, my wife probably gonna text me, tell me shut up, but I just this look familiar to me. So let's just look at the video and then we're just gonna have a conversation.
You said you like the electric cars.
I said I like Tesla. I said a Mercedes Benz. I don't like Tesla.
Well, you gotta like. This is better than a Mercedes Benz.
This is not. I don't want no car that if I gotta charge it for it to work. I didn't want that.
Girl, you need to be grateful that you got a damn car.
I could have just been walking it. I would rather walk it.
Right. You should be happy.
Be grateful. You can put the keys back in your purse.
Oh, and I will. And don't ask me for nothing else. Oh, you're gonna be happy with that money.
How much is this?
Girl, open it up and stop being ungrateful, because now you starting to be ungrateful where you ain't gotta worry about me ever again.
I said I wanted a Tesla. I always told you I wanted a pink Mercedes Benz.
Okay, well I couldn't get the Mercedes Benz, so you got that.
This is all you gave me for my Sweet 16 and my golden.
Girl, do you know how much money that is? That's $1,600 for 16.
That's it for my Sweet 16 and my golden birthday.
Well, what did you want?
So, okay, before I get started, I already don't like these kind of videos because I don't know if they real, if they fake, it's just people putting on. You know what I'm saying? You I'm getting that message. You got you got a Tesla in a neighborhood where I know what those type of houses look like. I know what those garage doors look like. I've walked through so many neighborhoods in my lifetime. You shouldn't be having that kind of car sitting outside anyway, like that in that type of neighborhood. And I could be stereotyping, but who cares? It's my show, so I can do that, right? So again, there's some reality to that. There's some truth to this conversation that she's having. And my question to y'all, and I'm gonna start with you. No, I'm not gonna start with you, sis. I'm gonna start with Kenny. We're gonna work our way up. Kenny, who's more at fault? Is it the mama? Because again, I got questions, right? Again, okay, the mama's talking. The daughter is what she. Who's more at fault here? Because no 16-year-old need no Tesla. But who's more to blame, or is it equal? Kenny gone again? Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
I knew he was about to. Oh, he's still on.
Am I back, ma'am? You know, hey man, y'all forgive my internet. I don't
it's
know
all
what's
right,
happening
man.
with it today. So you wanna know who's more at fault? The mother or the daughter?
Yeah.
There's no fault here. I do know there's a brat here that doesn't deserve anything else. But I would say the mother, in my opinion, she probably done gave this girl too much, first of all. And this isn't the first time she's probably displayed this attitude. She's probably been disrespectful to her mother before about stuff that she wanted and she didn't like it and all that. So yeah, the mother have created this monster. I'll be honest with you. The mama done created this monster. Now the mama can also, she gonna have to pull her mama panties up and say, look here, that's a wrap. And I don't believe she said this is the last thing I'm gonna do for you, but I don't believe the mama. I think the mama just talking. I think she's just talking.
Yeah. And again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every parent is like this, but when you saw it going that way, cut the video off.
Yeah, I agree.
You're embarrassing both of y'all, right? Yeah. So, I mean, okay, Devin. So here's my point. We talked about overcompensating before as parents, but I mean, I don't even know if I fault the daughter at all, because she's only behaving as the parents have allowed her to. Because I promise you one thing, y'all didn't see me record my conversation with my child. Because when she pulled that stunt with me, you didn't see that conversation, but there was one had, and it definitely didn't go like that. And even in the point when the moment she said she didn't want the car, you still gonna give her the $1,600. You out your mind, fool? Oh, okay, go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Go ahead.
First of all, when that lady walked out that house, I think I saw a Maxima and a Corolla, and that looked like a Section 8 ass neighborhood. She had a 50-cent balloon and a 50-cent ribbon sitting on that damn car. one of the eyes looked like one of them was bald. That lady just got her income tax. She rented that damn Tesla and she made this for a skit. We couldn't see that lady, but I bet she had a bonnet on. So nothing about that video was believable to me. Ain't nobody gonna get their child a Tesla when they car note is probably $555 because you got it from a total note and you're gonna be paying $50,000 for a $1,500 car. First and foremost for that video, but I know everybody's in an uproar because a lot of us do have a lot of ungrateful kids. But if I would have bought my child a car and they said I don't want this, that would have been the shortest video in America. It would have been about 11 seconds because I would have cut it off and I would have cussed them out from here to Antarctica, and I would have called them every name in the book, and then I would have took that Tesla back to where it came from, or I just would have drove it. I mean, my son acted a fool one day over an iPhone I bought him, and guess what he got? He got a flip phone from Walmart that you buy a card for to put so many minutes on it every month, because I don't play that with my kids, because I mean, I work too hard and I do too much, and yeah, my kids are spoiled. They ain't worth a damn, not a one of them. And I know that's my fault because I overcompensated for what I didn't have as a child, and I ruined them. But I didn't believe nothing about that video. That lady had just come from the tax place and she had just got her income tax, and she made that baby get that money back, and she probably gonna give her some money after income tax. But what is a godly birthday anyway? What is it, a bar mitzvah for 6 hours? None of that made sense to me, or nor was it believable, and they made that for a skit, and I didn't believe none of that.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. And again, I'm gonna
bow on a damn Tesla. I mean, come on out. That's a Christmas. That bow came off one of them Christmas presents from December.
Yeah, you know, again, we contrasting Boosie and his daughter. I know you remember that, Black. And now with this right here, again, it's just a level. Again, when my daughter rejected my gift to her daddy had him a new work car. I got me a work car now. So that's the car I drive to work every day, right? And you know, she's just gonna figure it out. That's what's gonna happen. So you know, I keep less mileage out the car I would have normally drove, but daddy got a work car now. So Black, compare and contrast little Bootsy and his, you know, whatever that was she was doing, and this buffoonery.
So life imitates art for me. You know, when you see Bootsy do it, sadly, I think that's all too real.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, Sister Devin. I truly do. Unfortunately, I know people just like that. I know people like that close to me right now. I just had a conversation this weekend with the mother of my son and her daughter, probably mine too, but we just never had her tested. But anyway,
I'm sorry. You be dropping them balls, bro.
Keeping it honest. Keeping it honest. But sadly, that situation rings all too true in the sense that I agree with everything you said, Devin. I look at the neighborhood, but I think about how many people I know right now who got the PPE loans and who got more scams going than a little bit. And I have a saying. I say, God, take care of children and fools. I worked all my life. I've been working since I was 14 years old. Work every day. I drive a Nissan Altima. My baby mama, she's never worked a day in her life. She got a brand new Kia Sportage truck or some shit she got. The daughter in question, she called me about this weekend. She drives a Lexus. Very first car. And I told her when she got it for, you're setting the wrong standard because she's very smart. She could have been a triple threat. Beautiful. I ain't gonna say her name because I don't want to put it out there. Beautiful, smart, and was nice. But what she turned into, she strips for a living. Selling pussy. Let's keep it funky. And how can you now get her to come down and drive anything beneath a Lexus? Because that's her first car. So because it was given to her, she has no sense of value of earning of anything. She told me to my face when I lived in the other Buckhead apartment, she said that I'm a slave to the system. I watched her and her little stripper friend. They stayed with me, and they both smelled like hopelessness and despair, you know, staying in my apartment, telling me that I'm a slave to the system. But sadly, it's all too true. So when I look at that video, it makes sense to me. And I blame the mom and the daughter. But what stood out to me is ugly as this little munchkin looking bitch look like, and you talking about, about a Tesla. If you want to get some stick in you, you need to drive whatever car you can get, because I guarantee you she done had more sticks to her face than a baseball game. You
wow.
So yeah, I believe it all too much. And the mama, even she went on camera. I know she a sloppy, nasty, no good too. I bet I could wipe my penis on a washcloth in her kitchen. You nasty hoe.
Can I have it back, please? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well,
so okay, Black. Just for the sake of and again, I know, but do she stay with her mama?
Yes. Because I guarantee you, it's 5 or 6 of them living up in that house, all getting checks and food stamps and on the come up, and they got a scam every minute. These are the kind of people that open up a can of coffee and put a mouse inside and then call Folgers and tell them they run a scam every day. I know them all too well.
Well, I ain't gonna hate a hustler, because it's
and they eat better than us, drive better than us.
Yeah, and again, those are different breeds. Because I know a couple of them myself. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about these people I know too.
Rats and roaches. I call them rats and roaches.
Right. I call them relatives. So
oh, man.
That's why I'm gonna shut my mouth.
Oh boy.
Don't you text me. Don't you text me. I'm putting my phone all the way out the way, so I'm gonna shut up. So this is what I'm saying. Like, those are different. That's a different type of people. I'm talking about the people that don't even have they just riding the wave. They at home. They still making $15 an hour, but they still got a $1,200 car note. But you don't pay no mortgage. I don't got no respect for that. I got no respect for you, right? You can't talk to me, right? If I do pull up in the F-150, so what? I'm going home to my house. Well, if I want to take my clothes off and walk around here butt naked, my kids can step outside my house. You got to wait till your mama go to bed. Okay, well, okay. Anyway. Y'all just don't understand. These ungrateful children are going to be adults, y'all. And they already ain't working. So that's why you ain't going to be able to get your Social Security when you get 67.
Right.
We'll go on to the next segment.
Yep.
Just saying. So y'all have, all right, sister. Oh, who business you digging in today?
I'm going to make this super duper quick. Y'all know old Stephen Curry. He is living in, I think it's called Atherton, California, in a $30 million home.
Affluent California?
Wherever it is, somewhere in California. Somewhere I can't afford. That's where he lives. Anyway, he got $1 million. And while I was minding my business, I saw people going at him on social media because he wrote a letter saying that he did not want a low-income housing development to be built in his neighborhood. He says that safety and privacy for us and our kids continues to be our top priority. And one of the biggest reasons we chose Atherton, as home. And people are letting him have it, saying that these people deserve the right to go to the same schools, and he doesn't want these, everybody having access to his home. So I just want to quickly know, let's be honest. We try to do better so that we can move to different areas and regions. So how would you feel if you had a $30 million home and they built a low-income housing development property in your neighborhood? Brenton, I'm going to start with you.
I would feel horrible. Steph is thinking money, economics. He's going to lose 1/3 of his value of his home, because I promise you, with a low-income residence come low-income people, and come low-income mentality, and come low-income knocking on your door for Christmas and Halloween and wanting the things that you have. Of course you don't want that. I moved away from that neighborhood, and I don't even have that man's money. So, I don't want to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw a lot of us in my neighborhood, and I had to ask myself, "What's going on?" I thought I moved away from you jokers.
Oh damn!
I just didn't know the economy was getting that good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was we were all getting money now. I didn't get it, and that's been what almost 5, 6 years ago now. So yeah. So, but I no, you don't. Steph's not being mean. I mean, he's a good dude, but he's just again we're talking about business, right? Yeah. And all that. We know what the government, we know what the state does when those things happen. They then devalue your properties. So I just think he's just handling business. That's all. Everybody stop being so emotional about stuff. It's business.
One of the things I thought about, Ken, was a lot of times when things like this happen, the people with the money in the large homes, they start moving. So, it would seem like the community would consider that, because a lot of the money leaves. Y'all know how that works in a lot of neighborhoods. Once a lot of other things start to come up too, like Brent said, bring down property values. Is he wrong for saying that I'd rather this not happen?
No, he's not wrong. You know, again, Brenton pretty much, you know, he laid it out there. You know, as much as I love my people, sometimes I don't like being around them, especially when you bring the government subsidized type living arrangements in. You're going to get all kind of craziness going on in your backyard. So, and the property value is going to be lowered. And I was reading where that particular area is $8 million per acre in that county. So that is a very rich area of California. So no, I don't feel like Stephen Curry is wrong. I would build all kind of fences. You would think that I was living in a prison. I have all kind of fences built, barbed wire, everything. You ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna be able to see Jack over here, player. So you're gonna really have to climb some walls to get over here on my property. So no, I don't think he's wrong for feeling that way.
Okay. Black, I'm gonna ask you, do you think that kids of lower income families deserve an opportunity to go to the best schools and shop at the best stores and be around the best neighbors?
In a perfect world, yes, but we don't live in that world.
Yes, sir.
You know, fair is a place where they judge pigs. So, you know, in reality, you hate to succumb to stereotypes, but you know, we can sit there and talk about their property values. Let's just talk about quality of life. I don't blame him one bit. I would never see his kind of wealth, and I don't want to live around. I love black people, but I don't like iggers. I'm being nice. You know, I have moved, you know, personally for that very reason. I'm so happy that they putting this nasty bitch out above me. She don't belong here. She don't fit in, you know. And I moved here. I live in Buckhead. I pay a ish load of rent because I made a conscious decision to move in a neighborhood where the Kroger's is better. There is no Walmart around here. I picked my neighborhood when I drove through here based on, is a white woman walking a dog. That's how I picked my neighborhood. When I saw a white woman in the evening walking a dog and not looking behind her, that's where I want to live. And stereotype as you may, that makes a difference. Because you let in a bad element who leave garbage out and got a dog barking, stomping up and down on the floor. I'm so happy that last Monday we met and they putting her musty monkey ass up out of here because she don't deserve to be here. You low down dirty bitch, you.
Oh,
you're gonna have a horrible night tonight now.
I definitely agree. I would feel some kind of way because I was actually grew up in low income housing, and they would have fist fights when we got off the school bus. They'd be stealing. We used to go to the Safeway, and we'd be just taking stuff taking candy, cigarettes. No, I'm gonna get my ass whooped when I get home. I mean, just doing unnecessary stuff. And I think it makes a difference as far as where you live and kind of who you live around. And you people, even us, we move to get to somewhere. I want to live somewhere where I know I can walk to my garbage can and nothing's going to happen to me. That's my whole thing. But now I agree with him. I want y'all to quit coming for him on Twitter and on social media. He don't mean no harm. Now I'm gonna go back to minding my own business.
I'm going to give you all some poetry right now. There's a poet that says, "Jiggers and flies,
are both surprised. But the more I'm around jiggers, the more I like flies.
Oh, yes, sir. So, just so y'all know, that felt a little poignant for this moment right here. All right, listen, y'all. This is February. This is Black History Month, and so I got to talk about Black history versus Black culture. And I just got a question for y'all. In light of Black history, I wanted to shout out to E40 for donating money to his alma mater.
Yeah,
I think they built a studio, right?
Yeah, music studio.
Yeah. So E40, man, listen, E40 was in our generation, right? And he's still writing checks. Then listen, studios a little bit more expensive than what they was back in the day. So you know what I'm saying? That's some really good Black history. And so I'm going to do my best to try to not so much go back, you know what I'm saying, to talk about those that y'all should have already heard of and the folks that they don't want y'all to talk about no more. But I'm gonna try to find some stuff about Black history just up to date, you know what I'm saying, so that we can just shout out to our people. Yes, sir.
So I want to give a current one. Quiet is kept. What was overshadowed this weekend, and even with the Grammy Awards, Viola Davis became an EGOT.
EGOT. Yep, that's
Her
right.
and Whoopi and John Legend
and Jennifer Hudson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, she's an EGOT.
Yep.
Yep. Got an Oscar,
Emmy,
Tony,
and a Grammy.
Yep. She got all of them. Yes, but the problem is, along with our Black history, we have Black culture, and so y'all know this show a little different, so we got to do it a little different. So I just want to tell y'all something about some Black culture. This past weekend, there was a gospel artist they had his funeral. I ain't gonna call his name because I don't care about that part. I just want to talk about the foolery. So in this church, these folks decided to, you can call it what you want to call it, but if somebody asks you to take out your phone and give you a cash app, don't that sound like an offering? So this preacher got up in the middle of this funeral and asked the people to take out their phone and cash app this family money. Okay, I just want to ask the family, is that proper? And why or why not? Devin?
I'm not surprised. I hate to say it. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. And and I've gone to church multiple times where they make you feel like you're just the scum of the earth because you don't give and give and give. And I've had a pastor before point out my outfit and my car. Wow. And you sit up here in these shoes, but you can't give more than what you give. And I was giving, but apparently I wasn't giving enough. So
this was at a funeral.
I'm not surprised. We do things differently. We do things different.
Right.
I mean, think about it. A lot of times, every time we pass away, there's a GoFundMe for so many of us.
Yep.
I mean, that's just our culture. That's just how we do things.
That's my point, right? Yeah. So that again. Okay, Kenny. I mean, the dead body is right there. What? They didn't even give no explanation for why they wanted them to give the money. They just said give the money. I mean, what is that?
I don't think that was proper. I think if you were going to do that, that should have been already put in the program. That if you want to give a love offering to the family, you can cash app in this. You don't say that in the middle of the service. No, to me that was tacky. Regardless, so yeah. But again, Devin said it. We do things differently. Y'all know our Black churches be on some ish, funeral or non-funeral. Right. So I wasn't shocked for that to happen. But I thought it was improper.
Black, I need you to take that Grammy commentator hat off and put your preacher hat on. And I mean, what in all the devil's living room would somebody want to tell the people to give a seed at the funeral?
Well, like Sister Devin said, I'm not surprised, not shocked, and it's expected. with technology and where we are, it's another example of fleecing the flock. You know, it's just a new version of it. And even though this segment is about Black culture, it's happening on a worldwide scale in religion in general. This is another reason why people are walking away from religion in droves, why more and more people are becoming spiritual rather than religious. It's the reason why the Catholic Church is coming forward now and saying it's okay that for homosexuality and this and that, because they're losing members by the millions. But I'll stick to our culture. It just smacks of the greed, you know, that has permeated the church and decimated the message. You know, when in the Bible, in the book of John, it says you receive free, you should give free. Nowhere in the scriptures was it meant for preachers to turn this into a job, a paid profession, you know, but in our generation, that's what it's become. I despise money grubbing preachers. And what smacks the worst about it, you claim you're Christian, and the very example that you're supposed to be following Christ like, Jesus Christ himself beat them out of the temples for that very reason, that they was turning his father's house into a den of iniquity. And yet here we are doing it over and over. It's a blasphemy. It's a sin against God. And I just despise it.
Yeah. The reason why I named this segment Black History versus Black Culture, because y'all, if we don't get this culture together, that's the history my kids gonna be talking about. It's how ignorant we was in this culture. Our Black history is now going to be our Black culture in the next 50 years. That's the history they're gonna be telling about.
Well, we need to change the culture. The other day I went in the patient's room, y'all, and why this fool asked me if I can go clean his house before he get discharged from the hospital, or if I know somebody who can do it. Well, you know what I said?
Oh, white man.
Forgive me. You Hispanic from Mexico. You ought to know somebody before I do.
Burnt. Oops.
Okay.
Did he start speaking Spanish after that? No.
He said, no, I didn't mean it like that. Just in case you knew somebody. No, you ought to know somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Just catch one of your homies that you see back here at 10 or 11 o'clock at night going down that hall with that dust mop. All right. Anyway, y'all, great show today. I appreciate y'all so much. But we are at the very best time of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Black is going to holler at you about Divided We Stand.
Once again, organically, this show has led to the beauty of what I was going to talk about. And I thought, I usually think of my segments within the day of, within a couple of hours, because I like to let it marinate. And Sister Devin, you handed this to me on a platter with your last response right there. We live in a time now where so many people want to assimilate and be like others, and they're so cautious and careful saying what they say and how it's perceived and things of that nature. And we were talking about culture. We better stop taking the blue pill, folks, in Black America, because what we're becoming is unrecognizable. And when I looked at the Grammys, going back to that, and I think about Steph Curry, you know, have to be so cautious about speaking his truth just because he want a better life for his family. And I looked at the Grammys and I don't recognize the music and the culture anymore. And they have to take it back 50 years for me to enjoy it. And you think about the question that man asked you, Sister Devin. Far too many times we're afraid to stand up and speak our truth because it's not popular. Well, I want to invite you guys to watch a show on Showtime. There's a documentary called Stand. It's the story of Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. He was born Chris Jackson. It had me in tears damn near the first 5 minutes, because this man was blacklisted and lost his career simply because he was standing up for what he believed in. He was Colin Kaepernick before Colin Kaepernick was Colin Kaepernick. He belongs on the same mantle and spoke of in the same space as Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because he stood up for what he believed in. But when he did it at a time and he was blacklisted and was so unpopular. But I'll tell you something, standing up for what's right doesn't have an expiration date. It might not be popular in that time, but what history does is if you stand on your principles, time has a way of coming back around to where now we can appreciate what he did and what he stood for. So not only do I invite people to watch this special, I invite you to take it to heart and stand up, even when it's not popular. Dave Chappelle and people like him who are speaking out on things like the LGBT, and this is not against you folks, but we're at a point now where something as simple as they're questioning biology. There are people out there that's saying that a man who feels like he was born in a woman's body is more woman than that beautiful sister sitting right here. And we're too afraid to stand up and say it's wrong. And as a Jehovah's Witness, I'm not a practicing one, but I have a history with this. There was a time and a place where we were afraid because we had to take a stand and not standing up for the flag for religious reasons. But here we are, we've come full circle. And so I'm so glad that I'm a person. I said this at the beginning of the year for my show. Who I am going to be going forward, I turned 55 years old. Everything that come out of my mouth is authentically mine. It's Lee Black. It's me. And I'm going to stand on that. And you might not like it. If that means I have to sacrifice whatever space and place is on social media, I'm willing to do that because that's what I believe. And while it might not be popular now, and I might have to wait till the aliens come from Mars to come around eventually and say that fat black bastard knew what he was talking about. But I'm going to stand up for what I believe, and I invite you to do the same.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen. On point, brother. Always. Listen, man. Listen. You know we four. We didn't come together on accident. We think we all got the same kind of, Yeah. So, all right. Well, listen, y'all. It is again great show. I appreciate it, you all, and it's final thoughts time. And I guess we enjoyed ourselves so much. I don't even think folks was commenting today, but. Oh well, yeah. We talk amongst ourselves. Yeah. So, brother Kenny, give me your final thought, brother. This is killing me.
Them aliens, man. Them aliens is here in this house, brother Black. Them aliens, you send them down here to this internet. I got it. I don't know what the hell going on with this.
Well, go on, hurry up before they cut you off.
Maybe hurry up before they get back in here. Real quick, I just want to say, the segment we did on the ungrateful children. To any children that watch this later, I hope you do. Don't be like that young lady. Yeah. Even if it was a scripted or a skit, that's real life. We see it's kids like that really very ungrateful to what their parents have done to break their backs for. Please, kids, don't do that. Don't do that to your parents. You only get one. You just never know. So anyway, that's my final thoughts. Let me hear them get out of here for the aliens come back.
Hold on, I got a final thought. Don't leave me yet. Sister, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
I just want to say, in regardless to the ungrateful children, I want to talk to that mama that had this on video. If you don't sit your $5 ass down, putting people on the spot trying just so you can get views and clicks, when you know damn well you ain't made enough money to buy no Tesla. I'm driving around with my car with the little back thing that's flapping off because I don't want to spend the money. Not that I can't afford it, but I know better. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish we would stop acting like this. And for those of you, like you said, who will buy these things for your kids, I mean, for what? Don't be dumb, because you'll be the first ones signing up for handouts when it's due. And I also saw some of y'all asses on social media putting up GoFundMe's for Beyonce tickets. If y'all don't quit, this is what's wrong with the culture. Y'all making us look bad. And I'm going to need y'all to do better. They're willing to sell their soul. They say they can't afford eggs and milk, but they trying to get some damn Beyonce tickets. I just don't know what's wrong with people today. It's so annoying to me. It's so frustrating. Do better.
We're not going to recognize this country in about 25 years. We will not, because that means my children are grown. So I'm, and Lord, I hope they just change the way they think. Go on, Lee, give me a final thought.
I want to piggyback with Sister Devin in that same spirit. This is Black History Month, and this month going to come and go quick. And our young people in particular, and some old, are so distracted that they don't even care to know who Frederick Douglass was, or they don't want to know about Sojourner Truth, and they don't know who Benjamin Banneker was. They don't want to know these people. I love what you said, Sister Devin, because the new heroes are who they see on TV. And while Black Panther was a great, great movie, and I had fun with it too, Wakanda's not real. And so I want to hold up to people, and not just young people. I want to talk about more about the diaspora that is really true Black people. You don't have to have a cape and come flying in through the sky to be a hero. You know who the heroes are in Black culture? It's us right here who get up every day and behave like responsible citizens who speak our truth, but who are also trying to take care of our families and impart some knowledge to them so they'll be better off. And so I want to hold that up and shout that out, because we're not going to be rich and famous, and our message may not go far and wide. But for the people who watch this broadcast, watch this show, come back behind it, pass this on. You owe it to them. It's your responsibility to pass this down to your nephews, nieces, cousins, even if you don't have children, because our culture is being taken away from us. And you say we won't recognize this place in 25 years. If the rate we're going, I give it 10. We better start taking it back, and taking it back the right way. We owe it to ourselves.
Listen, before I forget what I got, if y'all don't know why the Chinese is riding around with that big old white balloon in the air, it's because it's taking pictures. What they getting ready to do to us. So they want to remember, so y'all won't forget what y'all used to look like before we get there. 15 football fields. Come on, man. I don't know what. We will never know what that was about.
Right.
But anyway, I digress. All right, y'all. I got a question for y'all. If you had to convince somebody to how to stay out of somebody's business, what would you tell them? Like, give them a good reason of why it is a good idea to stay out of folks' business. What would you tell them, Kenny? This is the running joke for the day. Black, what would you tell? What would be your best advice to tell somebody to stay out of folks' business?
I actually say it all the time. Sometimes it's better to live inside the lie.
I like that. Say that one more time.
Sometimes it's better to live inside the lie. You don't want to know the truth.
Okay. Kenny, what would be your best advice for somebody to encourage them to stay out of other people's business?
If they don't pay none of, if you ain't helping them pay no bills, leave their business over there. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You better leave them people business alone.
All right. Okay, good. Now, sister, I know you do this for entertainment purposes, but what would be your best advice for somebody to tell them, look, stay out of folk business? Sweep
around your own front door.
Well, you try to sweep around mine. All right.
That's right.
There you go.
I like it. Well, look here. I want to show you something that I think this person needed some assistance. He needed some of y'all advice, but let's see what it looked like.
Y no te pases conmigo. ¿Qué tú dijiste allí?
Le vamos a salir.
Dámela ya, Vic. Está pasado de gracia ahí.
He Antonio Brown, him. He got CTE.
I know, right?
Man, my boy on the crutches, man, he all in the way. It's like, bruh, get out the way, man. What you think? Now you done took an L for somebody else, man. Listen, the best advice I'm gonna give somebody. Listen, if you're gonna try to get in somebody else's business, you better watch out before you get knocked out.
That was hilarious,
man, bro. He got busted upside the head, and you just listen. When I see folks having problems and it ain't got nothing to do with me, I am exiting stage left. I ain't got nothing to do with y'all.
There you go. There you go.
I stay out of folks' business. That's
right.
I stay out of folks' business. So on that note, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we always got stuff to talk about, so y'all can stay in our business all y'all want, because if it's anything we don't want y'all to know, y'all won't see it no way. So always remember that. Listen, y'all, that's Devin, that's Kenny, and that's Black, and we're going to see y'all on Monday. Peace.
Y no te pases conmigo.
That would, yep, that is. Keep it going, honey. We'll holler at y'all on Monday.